Hello, everyone. Today we have this very easy and interesting project. It's called Fence Creation Project. All right. So first of all, let's introduce you to the fence definition. So as we can see from the image, right, there is a fence around the building, surrounding building. So that is the fence we want to capture. And for the fence, we want to capture it based on its actual shape. And for example, the fence like this, we need to capture it along this block. So it needs to be like this. And as you can see, while I'm capturing the fence, I am snapping to the building, right? I'm snapping it to the building, which means the fence has to include the building completely, right? And as you can see, that we need to cut the fence in the middle. So each fence is captured based on the image, like this. So each fence needs to include the building completely. All right, if you encounter a situation like this, all right, you can follow this building, snap it, and capture it, cut it like this. All right, so let's do it again. So if you don't do that, for example, if you don't follow the building to snap on the building to cut it, then you will get an error. So I will do an example. If you cut building like this, you will get an error that the building is out of fence. It's not inside the fence. So so you need to be careful with that and just make sure you follow the image. You cut the fence, make sure every building falls inside of the fence completely. Right, as you can see, right? It's very easy if you get this error. So just make sure the building should fall inside the fence. Then I will take you guys to another example. So this is a very typical residential area, right? The building is very typical, very standard. And there's another type of building that looks like this, right? This is an industrial area. So for the industrial area, as you can see, the fence is relatively big, and it's not very obvious, but you can still see it from the shrub, from this vegetation. So in this case, we still need to capture the fence uh, like this. So we still need to follow this fence to capture it. All right, like this. So this is for the industrial area. We need to make sure, right, it's captured well. All right, so this is for the industrial area. And in the commercial area, for example, like this building around here, right? In the commercial area, those high-level building, they may not show fence. All right, so we only capture the fence with clear and strong evidence. So these are all have fence, right? This is very clear and easy to notice. Okay, so this is three different situations of the building in this project. Then let's back to the task. So in some cases, we need to, if the building, they are snapped each other, right? The building are very, very close. And it's very hard if we need to trace each building site, right? If there's a fence between this building and the building is very close, in that case, we need to use the trace tool, right? Like this, very, very hard, very, very difficult. In that case, you can simply copy the fence from the building mask. So press 8, click on the building, and then press space, then you will get a fence copied from the mask. So if the building they are snapped each other, but there is still fence between them, then you can simply copy the fence from them. All right, so that is for the building that's very close to each other. However, if there is a space between them, we still need to draw a big box around this area like this, and then we cut in the middle. All right, we use the cutting tool to cut in the middle, and that is how we do it, like this, and then we do it in the middle like this. And one more thing to notice, if there is open space, right, between this block, then we need to exclude it. For example, this one here. This open space doesn't have a block, doesn't have a fence, right? As you can see, there's no fence in this way and this way, so we don't capture this. For one more example, is like this, all right? So don't include this part as a fence. We only capture the fence that it has clear and strong evidence. So let's do one more example. So for example, in this block, right, we capture the fence based on the block, and we want to draw the outside boundary of the fence first for this block, right, just like this. And if this is under the shadow, then we use our imagination to capture it properly. And then just follow this capture. Right? For example, in this one in the middle, we cannot have a clear evidence. Then we don't need to capture for this. We don't need to cut it. So now the fence for this block is completed. All right, so that is the basic drawing rule and some introduction of the background. One last thing about how we determine the neighbor, right? So the grid rule asks us for the right side and the bottom side of the building belongs to our task. But for this fence project, we need to be a little bit more flexible. So instead of taking a building in your task boundary, we took this whole block into your task. So for example, this one here, right, we need to capture this block, right? We need to capture this block and capture and cut everything in this middle. All right, so this block belongs to my task, and we have to follow this grid rule. So every fence belongs to my task in this area. And also for this one, right, this block also belongs to my task. But this one doesn't count. And this one also belongs to my task. All right, this one also belongs to my task because this touches my bottom boundary. All right, this touches my bottom boundary. So in this case, we need to capture this part into our building, into our task, and as well as for this one. So each block, right, we take the block as a unit to count for your task. It touches your right and the bottom task boundary, then it's in your task. Okay, and don't forget to retrieve the neighbor image to make sure you complete them in a good quality. Okay, so that's everything for this fence creation project. The benchmark will be paid at the creation rate. It's pretty easy and straightforward. Okay, and let's start today.